This episode of Inside Golf Podcast is brought to you by Inside Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Boston Capital Twitter, Steve, on the Hold the Green podcast.
All right, we are live. Tap in, birdie.
All right, Carson Young is here.
I bet Ludwig at 28.
Let's go. I bet
You
him
do
at,
too?
I bet him at 25.
low sevens. I think there's some guys in here we like.
Harris English at 7,300.
Why the fuck would I not bet Rory?
All right, we are live for the second year in a row. We're bringing back Kyle. Third year. You're right. We did do this 2 years ago. Last year we were in person together at Hilton Head. And we love to recap the Masters together. It's been quite the week. I would say that it's a major that I will never forget. Certainly the best Masters of my generation that I can remember. Well, I mean, Tiger in 19, let's not be a prisoner of the moment. But the broader point being, Kyle, thanks for joining me today. What were your grand macro takeaways from the 2025 Masters? And don't start with Patrick Reed. We'll get there.
No, I mean, I think obviously, the place to start, the place to finish, the place to, spend the majority of the time is on the guy who, finally completed what, I doubted he would ever complete, to be completely honest. I was of the opinion that Rory would win another major. I'm not sure if I was of the opinion that Rory was going to win the Masters as that next major. He seems to have had some serious scar tissue around the place that I think even showed today during the final round. But it's interesting. We do this, I'll take the betting angle, and then I'll take an angle I think I need to take after, what I've said about Rory over the past week. Nothing terrible, but I'll raise my hand and say he proved me wrong. But, for the Masters, and Brian just tweeted this out, right before we go live.
He'll be joining us too in a minute.
Yeah. I think it's funny. You look at the last four winners now, and it's Scheffler, or it's Rahm, or it's Scheffler, Rahm, Scheffler, Rory.
Yeah.
I think if you blind pulled,
even if you go back to, I think I know where you're going with this, and you can even go back to DJ there, because DJ fits it too.
These guys who are playing the best golf in the world, have won now 4 or 5 straight years at not so great numbers. The last Masters winner I had was DJ. So me, I typically avoid the top of the board, just generally speaking, when I bet golf. That's always been kind of a strategy of mine. And obviously you adjust for that at certain times. Look at Scheffler last year. You can even look at Rory this year. But yeah, it's just, Rory was playing the best golf in the world, right? This is the first time he's had two wins coming into the Masters, coming off a player's win. Looked like he was walking the walk, talking the talk, doing all the right things. I think the other thing I was going to say is a lot of people doubted, I think, Rory completing the Grand Slam, but I also think on the back end of that, a lot of people were saying this week, a lot of, sharp people were saying, is this not the best chance Rory McIlroy will ever have again, potentially, to win the Masters? Playing the best golf in the world, seems to have an edge on Scotty right now. Just seemed to really be in the headspace of, I'm not going to lose this tournament no matter what this week, which I think was evident today. So, I'll pass it back to you. You can glaze Rory a little bit. I'll glaze him more as well throughout the show. But for me, it's just, look, I the last thing I did want to say is, I was rooting against Rory for most of the Masters, obviously rooting for my bets to hit, as long as they had a chance to hit anyway. And then at the point when I didn't really have a chance, I was kind of just rooting for like a ridiculous finish, which is what we got. I thought the Rose putt on 18 was absolutely nails from him to finish at -11. His back nine was one of the best back nines I've ever seen anybody play on Augusta, specifically on a Sunday. So really impressed by Justin Rose. He has 2 runner-ups now in 2 of the last 4 majors.
Yeah, he was a very relevant factor.
The last thing I'll say about Rory, I know I said that I think 3 times and haven't actually.
we're on Kyle's fourth final take.
I love golf, right? I love golf betting. But to me, there's moments that just transcend the sport. And as much as I was rooting for Rory to lose throughout the day because I had, other guys who were in the mix, when you saw him coming down the stretch, when you saw him, hit it close, when you saw him make that putt, you saw the emotions pour out of him. I'm a romantic, all right? I am. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I like to think chivalry isn't dead. And there was something romantic about watching Rory hit that final putt. He poured out what seemed all of the emotions. You could see how much he was holding in, I think, in terms of, past experiences, past pain and things like that. So it was beautiful to see from that regard. I'm happy to see it. It's, again, one of those moments that you'll kind of never forget. And one of the things that makes the Masters so great. So,
yeah. A couple takeaways. He certainly didn't make it easy. I mean, there were multiple moments. Just to recap some of the things we saw and go through the running diary of the things that happened today, to do a full and proper recap before we get into the main star of the show, which is Heritage odds. I've already made a bet, by the way.
Me too.
I bet Daniel Berger at 65-1 to win the Heritage.
Yeah,
that's a crazy number. That's a crazy number.
Just seemed bad. So I did that and Post and
what'd you bet Posty at?
75. That feels like a good number at RBC. Like
Posty
this is one of his spots. Like I'm not betting Posty at like most courses, but like he's just one of these driver accurate whatever. But we can get to that. I'll let you. Let's go back to Masters. We'll end with a little.
We'll end with Heritage. Yeah. So he started out with the opening double on 1, which was a really squeamish, sloppy double bogey. Kind of a sloppy par on 2 as well. He had a great birdie on 3, which Bryson ended up bogeying as well. And that ended up being a 2-shot swing and then a phenomenal iron shot on 6. And somehow Rory walked away up more on Bryson through the first 4 holes than he did starting the round, despite double bogeying 1. And I thought an interesting stat that I remember from the broadcast too is there's never been a player that has ever won the Masters with 4 double bogeys on the tournament. And Rory had his 4th double bogey today on the 13th hole. I mean,
that was just to interrupt, and I'll let you take it over. That was the worst shot he maybe has ever hit in his entire career. And if he did lose the Masters, that would have been deserving of him losing the Masters because of the shot he hit on that hole. And I don't want to steal the show, whatever, but Harry Diamond, I mean, that man has the best job in golf. He is the worst cat. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't say anything. After he doubled, he goes to the par 3. Harry opens up his book and you can hear the audio, and Rory is giving him the yardages. Absurd. Sorry. Continue.
You're right. He is in a blessed position, but
Greatest job of all time.
He definitely didn't make it easy. And I think it speaks to the fact that this was the correct winner of this tournament. I think from day one, as you mentioned, to circle back to your initial point, I got lost in all the initial points, but I think the main thing that I want to highlight and touch on here is that you're right. We have another case of hitting like the most obvious trend and bet coming in, which is now hit, as you mentioned, 4 out of the last 5 years, where the player who wins the Masters is the guy who is playing the best golf, who has won already this season, and is sub 20-1 with good course history and didn't contend last year. So that checks the box for Rory, Scotty the first time, John Rahm, and Dustin Johnson. So it's been 5 out of the last 6 years where essentially just pick the player that is playing the best golf coming in, didn't contend last year, has won at least once this season, and I guess you could probably add good course history into the mix as well. There'll be more to say on Rory as we get around to it throughout the pod. I think BK's joining us here in a second too. But what did you make of the whole of Bryson's involvement in this tournament? Because Bryson, I did not have any pre-tournament exposure to. And I walked away from this event despite the fact that I don't think he had his best stuff all week, certainly not statistically. I mean, he wasn't doing any of the things that you would expect Bryson to do when he is going out and winning majors, right? Like the best version of Bryson is when he is absolutely dominating off the tee, gaining 4, 5, 6, 7 strokes off the tee and flushing his long irons. And that was not the Bryson stat line that we got from him this week at all. I mean, he was leading the field in around the green heading into Sunday, which statistically has been the weakest aspect of his game, both incoming on live and at Augusta. And for him to hang that tough in that tournament for as long as he did, I know the wheels came off at the end and the sustainability models based on the way that he was hitting the ball weren't great. I don't see how this isn't the third best player in the world. Like, I don't see how he's not the third player on the odds board. I talked a little bit about it in my Sunday pod, but I don't know how you don't put Bryson at 12 or 14 to 1 right after Rory and Scotty on the odds board of any modern US Open or PGA Championship venue. Like, the scary thing is, I think Quail Hollow and Oakmont are better golf courses for Bryson than Augusta was.
Absolutely. I think there was a 17 still hanging out there for him at Quail. And yeah, I mean, look, Bryson, I think, has won a lot of people back over. I think that Bryson, I was a guy who didn't always love Bryson by any means. And I think that he's kind of reinvented himself on live. And he's been one of the guys that the move to live has done, you know, wonders for him, which I don't think you can say about everybody. The around the green stuff is crazy. I think you saw some of that at Pinehurst really start to emerge. And, you know, if he's a guy that is around the green, can play, if he can keep that around the green play and he finds the irons, he'll be incredibly scary at both the US Open and the PGA Championship. And you know, I think, to me, the driver's great at Augusta, but the driver is even a bigger advantage at a course like how I expect Quail Hollow to play, how I expect Oakmont to play. I'm surprised. You could convince me he should be the second favorite at Oakmont
Over Scotty.
Maybe, yeah. But
Scotty, by the way, finished 4th in this tournament.
Quiet as 4th place, like, you know, no big deal, like just -8.
He actually putted his ass off, dude. Like he really didn't hit the ball that well. It wasn't anything close to vintage Scotty ball striking. Like on the week, he lost strokes off the tee. So you're not getting anything close to standard Scotty Scheffler baseline off the tee. And he still
I also
finished.
think I want to walk back that comment. He should be the third on the odds board. He should not be the second on the odds board.
I think he has to be third on the odds board right now too. And to be honest with you, I mean, we'll get to Colin, who was a big disappointment for me this week. Like I thought I was very high on Colin this week. I know you were too. And I thought that Colin at worst was going to waltz into like a T10 finish if he just played to his baseline. I think he ended up finishing like T19 or something like that, which wasn't good enough to get it done for me in the way that I anchored around him in DFS as a core play. But I mean, right now, if I'm making my top 5 of the best golfers in the world, I think I would put Rory number 1, obviously right now. I think heading into this week, I didn't have him above Scotty. And now I think based on winning the Players and the Masters, something Scotty did last year, you have to put Scotty over Rory right now. I would still put, or Rory over Scotty right now. I would still put Scotty number 2, who, continues to seem like his game is a few minor details off from winning, but continues to top 10 to 15 every single week. Then for me, I'd probably go Bryson, Xander, Ludwig, and probably Colin Sachs. I mean, where are you in your top 5?
I'm probably, I don't know. I mean, I think it's Rory, Scotty, Rory, and then I think it's a big delta. I still think there's a big delta between those two guys. And who you want to put at 3? Devin said Rory, Scotty.
I think I agree with that.
I think it's Rory, Scotty, gap, Bryson, small gap. Like, I think there's a gap between Bryson and
I'm
Rory.
cool with that. I think there is probably a little bit of a
it's
gap
not
between
a significant
Scotty
gap,
and Bryson.
But
yeah,
I think it's I don't want to be a Colin homer, but Colin.
What do we do? What do we do with him, Kyle? What do we do with him? Because I thought I seriously had really high expectations for Morikawa this week. Like I really did. I didn't bet him outright to win, but he was a core play for me.
If he won one tournament this year, we would be saying he's the 3rd best player in the world. I don't even think Bryson would be 3. Honest to God, I think Bryson's biased because of the fact that we just saw Bryson have this big finish. Colin's playing some of the best golf in the world. Hey Brian,
happy Passover, man.
Yeah, but Xander should be
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, Xander is better than Colin, but Xander's not having a better year than Colin Morikawa is having. So I would push back. That's just a factual statement. Like he might have a better year, but at this point in time, Xander Schauffele is not having a better season than Colin. I don't even think it's an argument.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I think we're talking about who's playing the best golf in the world right now, because I'm still living in a world where Scotty's the best golfer. Like I'm not, like, in terms of like going forward, I'll still take Scotty over Rory personally. Right now, Rory's playing better golf than Scotty is. So
Bryson or Brian, Freudian slip there. Brian, how are you doing post Bryson sweat?
I don't dispute Shorty Vegas either. Xander is sorry.
Kyle,
I'm gonna talk for 30 minutes.
Kyle, this is gonna be.
Does Kyle have any takes left? Like, I hope Kyle can keep going, because I don't know if he has any takes left.
We haven't even gotten to Patrick Reed yet.
This is an incredibly niche IGP joke, but like last year, Dan Rappaport came on my podcast, and I opened the podcast and I was like, Dan, how are you doing, man? And he just talked for like literally 15 minutes straight about like whether he was a fan of Highlander. And it's been a running bit with us of the Dan Rappaport Gary Player opening. And Kyle hit us with the Gary Player Dan Rappaport opening, where you ask him for one take and he gives you a 30-minute rant to open the pod.
Look, I'm dying here. I'm trying my best. All right. I'm fighting.
And we love you for it. We love you for it.
I'm dripping sweat. I can barely talk.
Did we lose Brian? Is Cam, is Brian's audio delayed or something?
Yeah, it was delayed a little bit, something with his internet. So
he'll just tell him to rejoin.
I think this might be better.
You're better.
Yeah, you're good. You're
Okay.
good. You're good. You're good.
Love pod's been great so far. I've been listening. The Gary Player impression was amazing from Kyle. I truly felt like, I'm not even going to have a question asked to me. I truly felt like after 18, I didn't know if the world was going to happen tomorrow if Rory didn't win. Like, it truly felt do or die. If Rory were to lose that major, I don't know what would have happened to professional golf and what would have happened to Rory McIlroy. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic, but did you not feel that way? Like, I could not imagine a world in which Rory didn't win that Masters without him quitting professional golf.
Just a hysterical summary of what you just said. One of my buddies from college texted me about Rory text me. This is the funniest part. Text me on 17 after Rory takes a one-shot lead. Cannot believe Rory McIlroy is going to win the Masters. I text him back immediately. You realize there's one hole left to play, and this is Rory McIlroy. Hits it dead center, puts it in the bunker, hits it to 7 feet, misses the putt. We're texting, whatever. I literally texted him, like, if you're Rory McIlroy, like, what the fuck do you do if you lose this major after missing another short putt to lose it? So we were in the same boat as you, Brian. I felt the exact same way. I was literally like, I don't know what Rory's going to do. There's no way he was talking to the media if he lost. Like, there was a 0% chance.
Did you think he was going to lose the playoff, BK?
I wasn't super confident. I don't really know how you could be. Like, obviously, Rory has an edge, but I wasn't super confident, like, he's going to get this done. And to me, like, and I was at Passover with a bunch of kids. It wasn't the greatest viewing experience. Like, it was okay, though. Like, it just felt like the joke was that he would rather hit a 5-iron around the trees than hit a gap wedge from 120 yards. Like, the fact that he did not put it on the green on 18 in regulation, that is a bigger collapse, not really, than 13. Like, and Kyle could hit that shot into the green. I understand, like, no hyperbole. Kyle could have hit the green on 18 from where Rory was off the tee, and he dumps it in the bunker. Like, how do you even do that? Like, it makes no sense to me how it got to a playoff. And the world, it would have transcended sport if Rory lost that Masters, truly.
I wouldn't have known what to do with myself. I was so fucking done with this shit when it got to the playoff. I couldn't believe he bogeyed 18. I couldn't believe he bogeyed. I couldn't believe he double bogeyed 13.
That was the word in my mind. That, like, Brian, I'm not kidding. If I didn't have pressure on me and, like, I was just hitting that shot, I could have hit that shot better than Rory hit that chip into 13. That was the worst chip he's ever hit in his entire career. Like, legitimately the worst shot. I don't know how he aimed at the side of the green. The one place you can't miss, he pushed the ball to the right and goes directly in the water.
And he was like laying up. Like, the plan was to lay up. It wasn't like he was like, oh, like, flustered, I need to lay up. Like, he played that hole as if he was going to have that shot into the green.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, give yourself 20 feet then if you're going to lay up. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I didn't get that. So yeah.
What point, Brian, at what point did you feel like Bryson was out of it? 11? The water ball on 11?
11? He was dead after 3.
He was dead after 3.
He couldn't hit an iron.
His irons were terrible.
Terrible.
And honestly,
everything.
He did drive the ball well today.
Yes.
I thought, Andy, things were going to even out after Pinehurst. There was no way Bryson was going to beat Rory in 2 out of the last 3 majors. Like, these things even out. And I really thought, it was Rory's week. Like, even, after Friday, really, it just felt, and even through 14 holes on Thursday, it just felt like it was Rory's year. It just felt he was playing different. I know you guys touched on it. Great chance to win at Augusta, one of his best in his career. And he did it. And it's almost more impressive he did it this year than if he came in worse form and he didn't have all the expectations. It's more impressive to do it in 2025, given the season he had and given the expectation that he had, than if he won in 2022 or won in 2 years from now with normal form. So that's where it's even more impressive for me, because he had all that pressure going in and he won when everyone expected him to.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Like, Bryson, and it was just based on what I was seeing, the eye test and the stats. Bryson didn't scare me that much today. Like, I just knew that something was off with his game. Obviously, like, when Bryson wins these types of golf tournaments on these golf courses is when he is gaining like 7 strokes off the tee. And obviously the irons he didn't even hit to field average, but he actually drove the ball. He actually drove the ball pretty well today.
Yeah.
But he wasn't even like dominating off the tee in the way that you would need to see Bryson dominate off the tee. Did you hedge?
He was.
No, I wanted, like after two, I was like, I probably should hedge. And I was like,
I would have bet if I was holding a Bryson ticket after, I would have bet.
I couldn't hedge pre-round.
But like, also, like, would it have even been a good hedge? Like, Rory fell apart. Like, it was not like a 2-man. I'm not kidding. Like, yeah. Like, cool, you hedge.
I mean,
and Rory
but Bryson's
I'm
like
saying
the
that wouldn't have been a
fourth most
comfortable bet.
relevant storyline this week to me. Like Bryson, like is not a huge storyline for that Masters for me, to be completely honest. Like
This Masters,
this Masters,
I
it wasn't really. He was dead after 4. Like
bro,
he
you
played in the
cannot
final
say
group.
Bryson wasn't one of the. I mean, I just genuinely disagree.
Yeah, he's like Rory, Rose, like Scotty.
You think Scotty was a bigger story than Bryson this week? I honestly.
Well, I mean,
Like
we're
now,
bearing.
sitting
I mean, Natalie is still sitting here waiting for an apology on the
I
Ludwig
think
team.
the only reason,
Ludwig was leading the Masters with 2 holes to play.
no,
and
he
you
was
said
tied. He was tied for the
Tied
lead.
for the lead. You said that bet was deader than Jimmy.
Did it win?
No, it didn't win. But are you
So
really
that's
gonna?
it. No,
Are
that's
you
it. Like
are you
there's
really gonna sit here and say that she was wrong
A
about
terrible
Ludwig?
bet.
Yeah, like he was the 4th favorite and finished in the top 5. True poo-poo in the potty situation. Like he didn't win. The bet was to win the Masters. He didn't win the Masters. I said he wasn't going to win the Masters. Like that's it. Like I love Natalie. Like no one loves Natalie other than you more than me. Like he didn't win. What is the story? I'm not apologizing for Dick. But
Natalie,
to me,
I'm sorry, Natalie.
like to me,
why are you being so mean, Brian?
I'm not being mean at all. You're trying to make me apologize for Ludwig, who didn't win.
I mean, you said you made a big stand that
So
Ludwig.
did you.
Yeah, I know.
So what? Like what? He didn't win. I'm not apologizing for saying someone's not going to win if they finish 7th. It's fine. We can move on.
We can move on. Hey, she has a huge merch drop too. The ISN. We got a bunch of ISN shirts and sweaters and stuff. I'll give her the link. She wants to show off some of the merch stuff at some point. But let me leave you guys with this question. I can go to Kyle here first and safely know that I can go deal with this merch stuff, and Kyle will still certainly have something to say about it. Give me, like, once you get past Rory, Bryson, Ludwig, Scotty, what were the big main surprise to you and disappointment for you on this Masters leaderboard? I think there were a lot of surprises and there are a lot of disappointments, but once we get past the Rory storyline, Kyle, what was like the big major takeaway from this Masters leaderboard for you and your biggest disappointment this week? Because there were a lot of disappointments as well.
I will Vic lap the living fuck out of Patrick Reed finishing.
You were on it, man. You were all over Patrick Reed.
Out of that.
All over Patrick Reed. He was in the winning Millie Maker lineup as well. So is Sung JM, by the way. Shout out me. I don't have a lot to Vic lap this week. Sung JM and Davis Thompson and Patrick Reed being in the Millie Maker lineup. Good on us. But continue.
So for
Patrick
best ball,
Reed, have your moment.
For best ball for ISN, which I wrote up, I advanced 86 out of 160 lineups, which is like a ridiculous rate. My two highest
fucking banner.
My 2 highest exposed golfers, Patrick Reed and Justin Rose. So had them ranked very highly for IGP. And shout out to Brian, had Rory ranked higher, had Rory ranked as number 2 in the best ball drafts because of a conversation we had at the beginning of the year. So big Vic laps there. But no, I mean, look, I did think Patrick Reed was incredibly impressive. I thought Homa, I mean, like he was dead. Like the Homa story, by the way, with the caddy is like the funniest shit ever. So quick to another Gary player. But Max Homa's best friend was his caddy. His caddy, Joe Griner, basically took himself off the bag, said it was affecting their relationship, didn't want to be a part of it, whatever. Homa came out with a statement, was like, I really wish Joe stayed on the bag, have to find my own guy. Griner goes and carries JT's bag in the Masters, who finishes like, out of the guys who made the cut, I think he was like one of the lower guys who finished. And Homa has his best finish of the year, the first start that Griner's not on his bag at the Masters, like massive paycheck that Griner could have had. So I thought that was funny and good to see for Max because he's been playing like absolute dog shit. And I mean, Rose, like he deserves like 2 runner-ups in the last 2 majors or two majors. So
Rose has been in 2 Masters where no one beat him over 72 holes and he has 0 green jackets. He's moving up in my one major ranking by a lot.
We're gonna talk pyramid too. I've got to make some adjustments to the pyramid. Brian, who is your biggest disappointment of the week? Was it Neiman not getting the top 10? Was it Neiman not getting the top 10? Was it Brooks being completely irrelevant because you've been big on the Brooks? He's
winning 8 majors.
How about how about the quadruple bogey from Brooks?
I don't know. I mean, is Rom T14 is poo-poo in the potty situation for me? Like
I thought Rom acquitted himself nicely today.
Sure, like it's a lot better than finishing like T47, and everyone kind of at the top of the boards was honestly up there, but Rom. I think Rom's a pretty big disappointment. I still do think that he'll put himself in the mix of one of these majors. Coming up these next 3. It's probably Rom. I mean, I know he played a good Sunday round and everything, but I was pretty disappointed in Rom. And
what about JT?
I mean, it's JT. He was due for that. Like,
JT was a big disappointment. Neiman was the biggest disappointment to me.
JT was a huge fucking disappointment.
Massive.
I don't know. I mean, he was like 25-1. Like that was probably
true. No, JT was a massive disappointment.
JT was like 7th on the odds board. Like he was a headline selection for me. And you would have bet him at 25. You wrote him up in SI. You would have bet him
at. Did I tell everyone to bet JT? Yeah, I did. But like, I mean, I'm not like super disappointed. It's JT. He needs a little bit.
Bro, that was the definition of a disappointing start. Sorry. Like that was.
I mean, only one person can win. Like he didn't play well.
Bro, he was nowhere near the lead the entire tournament. I don't know how you can say it wasn't disappointing.
Andy said at one point JT's loitering.
I bet
JT was loitering. JT eagled 2 on Friday morning. He was literally loitering. That's what loitering means. He was loitering. He was hanging around.
To me, like JT isn't even like top 10 storyline for me this week.
Can I just take?
Hang on, we have one more guest joining us briefly just to show off some of the ISN merch.
Nat, what's up?
Oh my god!
Hey Nat.
Hi friends.
What's up?
What's up?
Okay, should I show the stuff? I'm so just heartbroken
Great
over
call on Lud.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my apology. Like Brian, we have
Natalie. My Venmo is Brian Kirshner. No anything. Please send me $50.
You do owe him $50.
Who did you pick to win, Brian?
Bryson. He was chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Bryson is a good.
Only one person can win. Okay.
You can duck on me. I had JT.
JT and Colin were horrific picks, like just horrific.
And I'm willing to admit that. BK's like, no, JT wasn't disappointed.
No, it was a bet. I bet a future 55-1. Like
you also hate.
That's
JT.
fair. That is
Natalie
He's so
hates
hooked.
JT.
I'm so done with him.
Natalie's 2 least favorite golfers on the PGA Tour are Justin Thomas and David Skins.
I hate David Skins.
Natalie, so what are your thoughts on Gene Sarazen being in the same company as Rory in terms of the career Grand Slam? Like, where are you at on Gene Sarazen being in this career Grand Slam kind of conversation? Like, where does he kind of rank in your pyramid?
He was playing against firemen and plumbers.
Well, I have to say at the beginning of the pod, you and Kyle, Andy, neither of you were showing any emotion about it. I literally cried when he won. It was so emotional.
I literally said chivalry isn't dead. I don't know how much more emotion I can.
No, chivalry is dead because he didn't walk with his wife and his daughter. He walked.
He gave Erica a hug. He did Poppy. Poppy wasn't smiling. Poppy could have,
do better, Poppy.
Look, a little more.
Kyle coming after Poppy now.
Look, he slowed down. Like he was like Erica put his hat over. She had like
that
was cute. And it was like kind of weird. It was like, what are you guys doing? Like all the cameras are on you. Like everybody can see you. That's not like a magic cloak that like puts you under and like you're invisible. Like everybody sees what you're doing right now. No, like I was again, I don't know how much more emotional I could get. I said it transcended the sport. I said it was romantic. I said chivalry isn't dead. Like I figure that's pretty emotional. Like
Natalie, Dave wants to know why you hate David Skins.
Like, I just can't explain it. There's just something about him that, like,
his last name is Skins.
How do you even know who he is?
Yeah.
How do you
Skims
know who he
like a
is?
weird
She
name.
knows a lot of golfers.
No, I do. Remember we did this where
She literally, if you ask her right now, Natalie, name
No.
30 PGA Tour players, I guarantee you she could.
We're
do
not
it.
doing that now.
That's Vic. She can Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
100%.
can
I
Vic.
could easily do it.
Are you?
But I always
Are we
keep the
showing the
random-
merch?
Oh,
Show
you
the
wanna see
merch.
Okay.
Yeah, show the merch.
Here's the first t-shirt. I'm wearing them all. They're all in Andy's size, but also my size because I love.
Because
Okay,
you're
so
the
this is a
size.
t-shirt.
Love it.
Love that.
There's a bunch. I didn't find all of it, but there's also this t-shirt that has a pocket.
I like
Love
the
that.
pocket.
Love that.
Isn't it cute?
Yeah.
And they're
So
all like
cute.
super comfy. Okay, those are short sleeve shirts. Then there's long sleeve shirts. This one's white. It's the same thing. It's just long sleeve.
I like that. Yeah, that's very cool.
And then there's what is this long sleeve? This is short sleeve, but it's green.
Okay, cool. Cool,
What
cool,
brand?
cool.
I look good in green. I think you said green's my color after
They're
last
all-
TIB.
They're all comfort colors or Gildan or Champion.
Champion.
Okay.
Is Cam on here?
Yeah, Cam's on here.
Oh, good. Yay!
Yeah.
Hi, Cam.
Hi.
Cam's
Box.
this. He helped me so much.
Penta
But
box.
They all look so good. Okay, here's the sweatshirt. I don't
The
know.
Pentabox.
Fucking
Okay,
Penta
this
box.
one has a little bit of dog fur because I wore it with my dog. This is a crew neck. And then on the side, I thought this would be a fun touch. It's Bono's After Dark.
That's very
Brian
cool.
Kirshner after dark, baby.
That's very, very
Okay.
cool. Yeah, that's
Burger King.
very, very cool.
And
That's-
then I think there's another t-shirt, but then this is the hoodie.
Yes,
I like
that's
the hoodie
what
a lot.
That's the one I want.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're so cute.
yeah.
And
What
then
do we
this
think of the
hat.
quality on that? Is it good quality?
They're all incredible.
Okay.
Like they're so good. I've been living in them. They're so much fun.
Where are
We-
the Lacatron shirt, Lacator shirts at?
The what? Oh, I can't see comments.
Oh, you can't?
No, what did people say? Did they? Oh,
No,
here
Good things.
People
Good
were-
things.
People were saying the shirt looks good.
is this-
Okay, we're gonna get
was
back to
not-
hair. I want to talk heritage because we have to go.
We're done
Yeah.
with the Masters.
No,
I have
not
one more-
necessarily
I have one
yet.
more
White
take.
Aspire. Wait, they like them.
I have
They
one
do.
more
They
take.
like them.
I have one more take because I don't want to let Dave. I don't want this to go. Like Neiman. Neiman was one of the biggest disappointments of the match.
Yeah, Dave. Honestly, you can take an
not the
you can
biggest-
take
I
an
don't
L on
care.
Neiman.
I don't care
Come
how
on.
he hit the ball. I don't care how he hit the ball. I don't care that his ball striking was good. I don't care. All right. He has played in 21 majors. He has 0 top 10s. Ludwig has 2 in like 6 starts. So just and Dave, it's all love. Like Neiman to me is a guy who has underperformed at the majors time and time again. We understand he's a good golfer. He's doing his thing on live, whatever. Until he has a big finish in a major, it's hard to actually say he's as serious as a golfer as all the live people want to make him out to be.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. He also boofed a top 20 at the last second too. Like
Did
he
he?
was, he was cruising around for a top 20 and like doubled 16. So anyway, okay, Natalie, great stuff as always.
Love you,
We're gonna-
Nat.
Wait, what is Frockets?
We're gonna
It's like
Um,
front pocket, I think.
Oh,
The only thing I can
wait,
think
is
of.
there anything else people would want us to design just before I go? We
Maybe
did a
some tanks for the summer. Show off my arms.
over my dead body.
What?
She also hates tank tops too.
Tank tops are out only for girls.
All right, that's
Yeah.
kind of sexist. No cap.
You guys
Snapback
want
hat. Okay, we're doing a dad hat, and then we're doing a like trucker hat. Those we have
We
to.
can add
Oh.
a snap.
Okay, I'm getting us back to the Masters here.
Wait, no, this is fun.
Okay, Natalie, amazing work on the
Love you,
merch.
Nat.
Love you
Love
guys.
Natalie.
Have so much
Great
fun.
Great job. Okay,
two things that are very important. I just put $275 on Bryson DeChambeau at 17-1 at the US PGA Championship at Quail.
Kyle.
I just nuked Rory 4.5 to 1 2026 Masters.
So, secondly, Rory is now the favorite at the PGA Championship.
He should be. I mean,
He should be.
I'm
Check
just
it out.
saying, okay? Like, sorry.
Yeah.
about that.
No, we agree with you. Rory
Yeah.
should be the favorite
he
at
is.
Quail Hollow.
He is. So, like, I was just bringing it up that was not the case before this week. Rory is now the favorite. Let's see if he's
Can I say
he's the
something
favorite at the
about
Open.
can I
Let
ask
Andy talk, Kyle.
can I ask a question about like Rory floodgates? Like, do you think that in his next, let's say, 4 to 7 tries at major championships, he's going to win another major? Because I'm going to throw a little cold water on the floodgates discussion. I'm really glad that he got it. And I do think before his career is over, he will get to 6. I think that 6 is the right number for Rory, and that would put him in the top 10 definitively ahead of Phil. But I don't think that Rory's going to win another major championship this year, personally. I think he's done. I think he's done for the year.
I'm not ready to say that. I'm not. Especially with the golf courses that are coming up. I think Oakmont's a great setup for him. I think Quail Hollow's, probably his best golf course that he's ever played in his entire life. And then you have, the Open is at Royal Portrush. So I think it's 3 great courses for him. Three courses he could win at. I do think that the win at the majors lifts a massive kind of weight off his shoulders. So yeah, I mean, I always said I liked Rory at Oakmont this year, which, Brian was like, that's like the least controversial thing ever, like sick take. So yeah, I mean, I think he could probably win another one this year. And I do think he's way more likely to win another one now with winning the Masters and getting rid of that scar tissue. Can
I go over the Masters Millie Maker winner for $10?
Rory Hovland, if I had to guess.
Kyle, let me just say it, my friend.
Okay, my bad.
Rory, Hovland, Connors, 22% Connors. That was my biggest ownership miss on the slate. I was off on Connors by a delta of 5.5. That's a Vic. Sung JM, Patrick Reed, Justin Rose. Patrick Reed and Corey Connors were above 15% and 2 of the chalkiest plays on the slate. Obviously, Rory was the highest owned player on the slate, but not by much. I mean, there wasn't a big ownership difference between Rory and Scotty. And then you had like a 6% Hovland, and I think Rose was 8%.
Yeah.
That Millie Maker felt pretty attainable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
I
like
was
you can
swimming
think
around
saying
all
that,
those guys.
Like certain chalk plays just hit at the Masters, so you could do a lap.
But I did also say that Russell Henley and Sepp Straka were the 2 worst plays on the slate.
You can pick.
Yeah, trust me. DFS. I got my ass kicked in DFS this week, but another big bad one for me is at the 11th hour. I had to make a decision between Reed and Sergio, and I played Sergio.
Even though all week you're like, Sergio killed me, he's missed. It's really hard to miss the cut at the Masters, and he's done it like 3 or 4 times. So
nuked on Bookmaker or something. I don't know. Yeah. No, he wasn't nuked on Bookmaker. But are we going to talk about the fact that Rory was the highest odds on Bookmaker
I don't think
week?
him being 7.2 on Bookmaker compared to 6.5 is equivalent to someone being like 15 to 20 points higher.
I don't think you can make that argument because he was at the top of the board, me personally, but okay.
Yeah. I thought Zal
Ludwig's best number was on Bookmaker this week, and
he didn't win.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't just say like it was like a bad bet because it didn't win. Like
I thought that there were a couple good bets that didn't win this week.
Yeah.
I thought if you bet Bryson, it's a pretty good bet.
What your JT 200-1 live bet that you said was the greatest fucking bet ever. That bet fucking sucked because it didn't hit, right? That's your argument.
Yeah. It didn't hit. So he didn't win.
So it wasn't.
But I will take getting someone from at 251 down.
It doesn't
to
matter
minus
because you didn't win in your mind.
I was saying that guys go off higher on Bookmaker and contend all the time.
Okay. Anything else in the Masters? I'll give a pyramid update because people were asking this question. So what Rory has now is, let me pull it up real quick. I was looking at this earlier today.
Nike released a Grand Slam video.
But people in the comment, Josh, yeah, was it a bad bet? No, but it didn't win. Like, I don't know. We make bets that contend every week. They're not bad bets. That's not even the point that was originally brought up. It was, does someone that goes off way higher on bookmaker win? Yeah, like it can happen, but I think more often than not it doesn't. I don't think they can't contend. It's happened millions of times.
So here's what Rory's win did, I think, in golf history. And I'm gonna do a longer conversation with Kyle Porter about this tomorrow for the golf history freaks. Rory now has had, this is his 17th prime year. He's got 40 wins. This is his 40th worldwide win on either the DP World Tour or PGA Tour. 64 major starts, 5 majors, 4 runner-ups, 32 major top 10s. With this victory, he passed, in my opinion, Lee Trevino, who has 6 majors, but not the Grand Slam, but way less wins and way less major top 10s. Nick Faldo, 6 majors, but no Grand Slam, 26 major top 10s. And Seve, 5 majors, 54 wins, 20 major top 10s. My question for you guys is, are you comfortable with Rory at 5 majors and a Grand Slam passing Lee Trevino and Nick Faldo, who have
100%.
6 majors but no Grand Slam?
100%.
So
Faldo was a Masters merchant, Open merchant. Like,
yeah,
he didn't do it at the Masters every year. He doesn't have a top 10 other than his 3 wins. He didn't transcend the sport. He played on the Euro Tour. He wasn't playing on the PGA Tour. Like, to me, Faldo was easy pass for me.
even with the 6th major.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like, to
How many
me,
more
yes.
PGA Tour wins does Rory have?
I pull up the Passover. I'm trying to explain to my Aunt Stacy that Rory is trying to join the most exclusive club in golf. There is no more exclusive club than the Career Grand Slam. Like, that is, like,
that's it.
People don't understand that. Like, that it's one of the it is the hardest thing to do in the entire sport.
There's
only
7.
Only
It's
like
7,
3,
right?
What?
7 total now with
He's
Rory.
How many since
and
World
one
War
is Gene
II?
Sarazen, who doesn't count.
How many since World War II?
I think it's just Nicholas. Yeah, just
it's
he's the
it's
third
Rory,
most modern player to do it in the hardest time.
It's Rory, Nicholas, Tiger,
Hogan, and Gene.
I mean,
Hogan,
are you not ready to say
Gene.
Rory's the greatest European golfer of all time?
Yes, easy. He already was. Like,
no, he wasn't. I would have put Seve ahead of him before this, but Rory now has 5 majors in the Grand Slam. He's the greatest European golfer of all time.
I agree.
Now, here's where I think it gets interesting. I have Phil at number 10. Okay. Phil obviously does not have a career Grand Slam, but he has 6 majors. Yeah. Phil, okay, let me stack up these 2 blind resumes. Okay. Phil has 32 prime years, 47 wins, 6 majors, 12 runner-ups, and 40 major top 10s. So
I think it's 6 runner-ups at the U.S. Open too. Which is
6 runner-ups at the U.S. Open, and Phil has 12 major runner-ups. So Phil, I'm still putting Phil ahead of Rory, and I'll tell you why. He has 6 majors, obviously the 12 runner-ups, and 40 major top 10s. Obviously, he doesn't have that elusive U.S. Open. But I do think that Rory could pass Phil pretty quickly and easily if he has, like, basically what we need is 10 more victories, you know, over the next 5 to 10 years. Like, if Rory for the next 5 to 10 years averages 1 to 2 major top 10s and a victory or 2 a year, then I think he passes Phil in career longevity. Phil played very well. Phil also never won the Players. You're right. So Rory has
Are you
2
factoring
players.
the runner-up at Singapore or no?
If Phil wins on Live, I'm counting it as a worldwide win.
You should.
But he hasn't. He hasn't won on Live.
I agree with you that Rory hasn't passed Phil, but he will.
Phil did win the Players. You're right, Dave. 1 time.
Oh.
So, and then Rory, that's another major because it's half. Players is half a major.
Right. But I mean, like, the guys that once you get past Phil, it's Watson, Sarazen, Palmer, Hagen, Snead, Gary Player, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Do you think Rory, if I gave you right now, does Rory, just the straight up question, does Rory get to 6? He's 36 years old. Does Rory win one more major after this? You're taking the yes.
Yes. Unequivocally, Rory will win another major.
Okay. I'm just asking the question because there are a lot of people that were telling me less than 2 hours ago that this guy is an absolute mental head case and can't win shit.
I think he might be.
And I think he like did everything to prove that like he still is that, but he's so talented that he can, I mean, making 4 double bogeys at the Masters over the course of the week and still winning while shooting even par on Sunday. I thought there were some brilliant moments, but he made it interesting. I thought the shot on 15 was one of the greatest shots I've seen in my life.
And he didn't make the putt, which makes it even more funny.
He missed the putt.
Oh, easily, without a doubt. It's Phil level. It's Phil 2010 level with not making the putt. I agree with you.
He hit the same shot almost Saturday, and he made the putt. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. By the way, that's a huge, like, can I just say from a golf course standpoint of like what Rory is the best at, what Rory's greatest skill is his ability to launch his long iron super high, right? Like he has that shot, and there's very few other players in the field that can do what Rory did to the 15th hole the last 2 days. And I think he won the Masters on the 15th hole this week because also, that hole basically asks a very, very specific question. If you can launch a high long iron, then you have a significant edge on that hole. I watched all these other dweebs, fucking Patrick Cantlay. Patrick Cantlay was like 7 over on that hole. Okay. And that's because
Rory
Patrick
did the same thing as Cantlay on Thursday. Like,
yeah, on 15, but he obviously made up for it with a birdie and eagle on, what did he do on Friday?
Rory doubled 2 par 5s on the last 2 days on the last 2 days.
My point is like 15 is the perfect arena for what Rory does better than everyone else. And I think that he won the Masters on that hole by being able to do something that very few other players can do, which is like, if you can launch a long iron high and get it to stop on that green, you have a tremendous advantage on that hole.
I mean, he probably gained 3 strokes on approach on those 2 shots. Back-to-back days.
Andy, where are you at on 18 in regulation?
On how he played 18?
Like how he played the 18th hole today in regulation.
Did he just push that wedge? Like
it just looked so right.
It was a very odd.
There's no even like disadvantage for going right at that pin. Like there's literally a backstop right behind it. Like I cannot believe he bogeyed. He did the hard part well. He absolutely nuked his drive. 125 and with a backstop behind the pin. You just need like that's where it's like what the first thing I said. I don't know how the world was going to continue if Roy didn't win that. Like I don't know what people
he should have fucking made this putt. He should have fucking made the putt on 18. Like he's still missing these putts that like, you know, somebody in the chat said he shot +1 and he won.
Did he
did shoot +1?
I need to go back and look at this. Devin in the chat will probably have the answer to this question, but the missed putt on 18, was that the same shit that kind of happened on Pinehurst?
Yeah, he like kind of raised his putter.
He kind of raised his putter. Yeah, I need to go back and.
Putt. That was not a gimme. Like I'm
not. Bro, wasn't that putt? I'm not trying to like. Wasn't that an easier putt than the putt that he missed on Pinehurst? That looked like a straight putt to me. And he just never touched the hole.
That's a good question for the chat. I'm not willing to.
I think 18 at Augusta was easier than Pine on 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, the degree of difficulty at the Augusta putt was easier than the Pinehurst putt.
Andy, after hitting a filleted 9-iron, talking about degree of difficulty on the course, like that's where we're at right now. Andy loves saying degree of difficulty. After he hits a green.
If I hit a good shot, one of my favorite things to say is, but the degree of difficulty on that shot that I just pulled off was through the roof. It's one of my favorite things to say on the golf course.
He should have made. Yeah, no, never mind. This wasn't the hole I was thinking of. That
Okay,
shot-
we have our Hold the Green guys coming on in we're given a double header here for ISN. They're coming on in about 10 minutes.
I have to say, if they're watching, if Capper like shit talks Rory, I'm done with him. I'm not even joking in the slightest. If he comes on and says like, I fucking hate Rory, he's a fucking pussy, like
that's bullshit.
That sucked, I would be upset.
Yeah, that's bullshit. It's not an appropriate take to have. It's just not today. I mean, Rory was it was a roller coaster, and Rory was hardly like he was far from perfect today and all throughout the week. But if the take is anything other than holy shit, what a moment for golf history, that's the take. That's the take that you should have.
Yes.
Is that holy shit? Let's talk about golf history. Let's talk about Rory versus Phil all time, and what it means to win the career Grand Slam. I don't want to hear bullshit about anything else. Okay, Heritage though. Can you pull up the odds board for Heritage, Cam, by any chance, on DraftKings? Heritage hit us with a 65-1 on Daniel Berger. That's insane. I would have bet Daniel Berger.
Price.
I would have bet Daniel Berger at 40-1 this week.
I think I was expecting something like that. Yeah, and he shot +3 today. He kind of wanted to get the scent off him. Yeah, love Berger 75-1. That's a silly price.
Wait, was it 65 or 70? 60.
65.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Dude, 65-1 on Berger is crazy in this field. By the way, there's 70 people in the Heritage. Did you guys know that? It's not even a full signature event. So expect bad numbers. Like I would expect the numbers to be bad because I don't know if they're adding players to this field, but I don't know why there's only 70 guys in this field. 72 guys in this field.
It's a Siggy though, right?
Kind of a tough look for Devin with Pavone being dead last, 800-1 in this field. Like that's rough.
He honestly, to Devin's credit, like takes full accountability, like all of us do when he misses.
Spieth is 100.
Spieth is 100 at the Heritage.
Yeah, but he lost in heartbreaking fashion last year. He's dead.
But did he lose in heartbreaking fashion the year before that too, or am I making that up?
Kyle, you're kind of a Heritage specialist. Like I had a great Heritage week last week. Year,
did you win all the money?
DFS. I got that's another niche one. Not all the money, but I did have a top 10 in the 100 single entry, which I would do anything for right now just to feel that feeling again. Yeah, I mean, let me pull up the odds board. Cam has it.
No, I love this week. This is the first week I won't be there in 4 years, I think.
Why aren't you going down, Kai?
Have you hit a winner at Heritage?
Yes.
When?
Yes, I have.
And who?
I believe I was on Fitz, and I believe I was on who was before Fitz. Let me see something.
Spieth.
I was not on Spieth. So
what year before that was Stewie?
Is Scotty plus 350?
Correct.
Is Rory? Did Rory?
Can I ask?
Rory was never in the field, Kyle.
Or he was never in the field. Sorry.
Can I ask a question? I know we're not betting Scotty single bullet this week, but we're all on the same page that like Scotty's coming, right?
Jack?
He could win.
No, I'm telling you right now, Scotty is going to win in one of his next 3 to 5 starts. You can hold me to that. I don't think that's a hot take. Like,
do you think that's a hot take?
I don't think it's a hot take.
Okay.
But I was hoping for. Here's my question: is the pendulum starting to swing too far on Scotty?
What about Vic 28?
I would bet that.
Vic looked pretty good today. I have to dive into the stats, but I think Heritage is a good golf course for Vic.
He was first round leader here 2 years ago.
Can I ask you guys a question between Xander, Colin, Ludwig, Cantlay? Who's your favorite of that group? I didn't mention Justin Thomas. Cantlay's course history here is fucking nuts, but I don't know what to do with Cantlay.
You just got to let him be, dude.
Just end it.
End it. Several ties. I don't think he's winning.
I mean, I'm not betting a single one of those guys.
You're out on Colin.
I think the guy I'm the most scared of.
He's 11-1.
I think the guy I'm most scared of right now is Ludwig.
Maybe.
Out of those names right now.
No beef with Ludwig.
I have no beef with Ludwig.
It's
I would
not
tell
JT,
you,
it's not Cantlay, it's not Colin.
I mean, you don't
Connors
think that
6 feet deep.
Connors could run away with this.
Absolutely not.
You
Connors
guys don't
is
have
6 feet.
any fear for my sanity that if I hop off Cantlay and JT, they're going to win a slapdick event like this.
I think 19 Cantlay is not a bad number. I'm not betting it, but at this course,
this is like a half intervention.
I'm not betting it.
I'm asking for you guys to intervene on me.
I think if you bet Justin Thomas at 16-1, it's like one of the worst bets of all time.
I want an
If he
intervention.
finishes top 5?
My whole thing with Justin Thomas, and it's going to become my thing with Colin Morikawa. It should have been my thing already with Colin Morikawa. Is neither of these guys have won 500 fucking days, and they're both under 20-1 every time they tee it up. If they beat me, they beat me. I'm done chasing fucking Justin Thomas and Colin Morikawa at these fucking ridiculous numbers.
And Morikawa.
Kyle, are you done with
Colin?
Colin?
I didn't hear you added Colin.
No.
I just heard JT.
I said I should have cut myself off from Colin Morikawa last week, but I didn't. And I'm done with. I don't care about JT. Like, I haven't cared about JT. Colin, I have because I have a problem with him, but I'm done. Like, so bet Colin this week. He's your winner. But no, I'm not betting those guys who haven't won in fucking 500 days, like, to win a tournament. I'm just not at below 20-1.
What about Henley and Straka buyback? There's a great golf course for that.
I think Henley 30 is a good number.
Yeah.
I don't think Henley's winning 2 signature events in 3 starts.
He could.
I like Straka 45 more than I like Henley 30.
But he was in the final group last year. He's dead.
But like, he got absolutely waxed. Like, he never had a chance.
Look, it's a true. You could go either way.
I'm pretty sure I bet Straka last year.
Yeah, I had him.
I think we all did. Yeah, I think we all bet Straka last year. I bet Cantlay. I bet Cantlay last year too. Okay, so Daniel Berger is a bet. What's my boy Bud Cauley? I
like Mav 55.
I like Mav 55. Bud Cauley 80. Andy.
I have to bet Bud Cauley 80.
I might be ready to buy back on Sam Burns at 80-1. I might be ready.
Do you guys think I should bet Bud Cauley now, or do you think there's a number better than 80?
I think 80 is good.
I think 80 is good, but I don't excuse me. I don't think people are rushing to bet Bud Cauley tonight, personally. So there might.
I feel like just pure vibes. I think Bud Cauley 80 is a good number.
Bud Cauley has 3. Bud Cauley has 3 top 6s in a row.
I think you should bet the 80. I'll bet the 80.
There's 3 other numbers I like. I'm sorry. I think Fitz at 80 at this course is not bad. I think Sahith at 100 at this course is a good bet.
Yeah. Okay, we got to go, guys. My computer's about to die too.
How do you not have like a charger?
Because when my computer is hooked up to my audio system, it can't charge. So I know it happens to me quite a bit, where if I go into a podcast and I don't charge my computer, then I start to see the battery fucking rip, and it's becoming a problem. I need a new computer. I'm aware of this.
No beef.
Okay, guys, stick around on this channel. We got the Hold the Green Boys coming up. They'll do a much deeper dive into the Heritage. And if you want more golf course talk on the Heritage, my Sunday solo pod is already out.
Yeah, preview was good.
Thank you. And Kyle Porter joining me live from Augusta tomorrow to slobber more all over Rory.
I'm sure Kyle's gonna love that.
I can't.
Me and Kyle have been texting all week. He's a pig and shit.
Yeah,
honestly, like, good for him, man.
Hewett was like Porter. He was upset with Porter.
Porter's my boy, but I don't condone everything.
There's no beef.
No, I get it. Like, he tweets some shit that I'm like,
there was ridiculous stuff tweeted out. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you. Like, I'm not going to condone his Twitter.
I don't know. I like him. I like when you guys talk golf.
There's people I love that tweet shit all the time where I'm just like,
I say stupid shit all the time. People are probably like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Like, I get it. Like, I'm, no beef.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I'm happy for him. I've been in the trenches with him with Rory for a
Look,
while.
Rory deserves to get the Grand Slam. All right, you know, happy for you guys. all is fair in love and war.
All is fair in love and war. All right, cheers, boys.
Great pod.
And end stream.
I'm dying.
Kyle's start